What do you want to say?
Oh, you want to.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for the upcoming application for the 40B, and this is just...
We also have one minor order of business before we get to that.
Okay.
We had a hearing and issued a decision for an application for JSC Holdings, and I submitted the proposed decision. I believe the board has had the opportunity to make, for a comment, and having seen none, I suggest that I couldn't print out a copy of it, so.
That's okay.
But I suggest we make a motion that we can approve it now, and then we can just simply, sign it whenever.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so anyway, so Lucas was part of that decision, but he's not here, but his vote was recorded as, we all gave her three yeas, so, all right, so therefore, I move that we approve the decision as submitted in the email that I sent, whenever I sent it.
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And David here is acting as our third member today, since Lucas is not present.
Normally an alternate.
Yeah, he's
with
normally
Alan.
an alternate with Alan, but he's going to act as our third member of the board. And as mentioned previously, I am Suzanne Jafarian. I'm the board chairman for the ZBA, but Ethan has been taking care of these meetings, so I'm deferring to him. He's going to take over, so thanks everybody for being here tonight.
Okay, so, all right, so now that we've gone through that preliminary matter of business, now we can turn to the current application, back to the current application for Ricketts Pond. Now, since our last meeting, our peer reviewer, JDE Civil, being represented here tonight by Mr. Gregory Driscoll, has submitted a letter, in the form of a letter, essentially comments on the applicant's existing, on the applicant's submissions, namely their comprehensive permit application and their stormwater management report. And so Mr. Driscoll and his team have made certain observations about them. And so I think that's one thing that we should probably address tonight is those observations and the response. So would anyone like to propose anything about how we do that?
Perhaps you could do an overview of this.
Yeah, I don't know that I have that. Was that sent around?
Yeah, yes, I think it was sent around the 23rd.
Okay.
An extra hard copy, if you like.
Okay. Yeah, that may help me. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, that might have went to Lucas.
Okay. So, all right, so this is what we have before us, is this letter from Simon Mr. Driscoll. It's 9 pages, and essentially it does make comments about certain elements of the application, the stormwater management report. Do you think it would be a good idea for Mr. Driscoll to give an overview of what he's presented, if that's possible, and then the applicants' individuals can respond, or? Yes, Mr. Obuchitsky.
Wouldn't it make more sense for us to do our presentation of what the plans entail and then have Mr. Driscoll comment?
I think that's reasonable. Does anyone, all right, so why don't you guys go first?
Can I ask
Would have been
Mr.
great
Who's
if
the
they
missing member? What's his name?
Lucas Kowalski.
Lucas?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good
My
evening.
name is Eric Shoemaker. I'm a civil engineer with McKenzie Engineering, and we design the civil site plans here before you. We're in receipt of Mr. Driscoll's review letter dated August 20th, and we're working through those review comments, and we hope to submit a revision of the plans incorporating all of those comments. I'm going to walk through the site plans and just provide an introduction to the civil design, get everyone up to speed. So we'll start here on sheet 3. This is the existing conditions plan. This shows the portion of the lot located across Plympton. The site itself is located off of Ricketts Pond Drive, down here to the southwest, and that's a subdivision development located in Carver. So you have the Carver-Plympton town line running across this southern portion of the property here. The total lot area is about 24.4 acres. It's just over 1 million square feet. Like I said, the property has frontage on Ricketts Pond Drive to the south, and that's how access to the development and the residential units will be located, while all of the homes that we propose will be on the Plympton portion. The site's currently undeveloped, and it consists of sand and gravel stockpiles as well as some access paths located throughout the site. There's varying topography, as you can see from the plan. And the rest of the site is undeveloped woodlands with some pockets of isolated vegetated wetlands. You'll see those located by the wetland flags at the central portion here. So we're located in the FEMA Zone X. In general, stormwater runoff seems to flow to the low point, which is this larger pocket of wetlands, and then it overtops and eventually makes its way to Ricketts Pond down to the southeast. We conducted soil testing, as you can see from these test hole symbols. The soil was all consistent. It was sand. We dug holes in excess of 10 feet. We really didn't see any groundwater, and that really helped us with the stormwater design. This next sheet is sheet 4 for the existing conditions, and this just shows the as-built to date of this subdivision in Carver. We have a cul-de-sac road, Ricketts Pond Drive, and it's an industrial park. These are office warehouse buildings located on each side of the street. A few of the lots are in the process of being constructed, and a couple of them are still need to be permitted. I'm going to talk about the next plan, that's sheet 5, the lotting plan. This shows the 25 proposed single-family home lots, the 40-foot wide right-of-way, and Road A. We haven't chosen a name yet, along with our building setback lines we're using for this development. The leftover land you can see is currently being shown as Parcel A, and that's leftover land by owner. So these lot areas range from 15,000 square feet to about 50,350 square feet. The largest of these lots is lot 17. It had more of its area located in the wetland buffer, so we just tried to give them a yard by making that lot a little bigger. The proposed access to each lot will be located off of Road A, and this Road A is, as you can see from the inset plan on the left side of the sheet, Road A is going to connect with Ricketts Pond Drive. So this cul-de-sac at the end here has a 140-foot right-of-way diameter, and that's located to the northern end of the site, and that should be more than enough for delivery vehicles, fire trucks to turn around in. The next sheet is the site layout plan, that's sheet 6. So this shows the proposed duplexes, the limit of the So this shows the proposed duplexes, the limit of the driveways, the limit of the cul-de-sacs, as well as our proposed stormwater management areas, just the outline there. So we're proposing 30 duplex buildings. This is going to equal 60 residential units. Currently, each duplex is being shown as 1,860 square foot footprint. Each duplex is going to have a bituminous concrete access driveway and one-car garage dedicated to the unit. There will also be space in the driveways to park a vehicle. So we're thinking at minimum there's going to be room for 2 cars per unit. Depending on how many you can stack there in the driveway, you could get more. The driveways are typically 24 feet wide to allow access to both garages. The subdivision roadway itself, as I mentioned earlier, is a 24-foot wide bituminous concrete cross-section. It has a 40-foot wide right-of-way, and it has 1 foot of Cape Cod berm on each side of the road to kind of contain the stormwater there.
I'm sorry, how wide is the road access?
The road itself is 24 feet wide with a 1 foot curb on each side.
Okay, thank you.
So measuring, the outside of curb to outside of curb, you're looking at 26 feet.
Okay.
The center line of the roadway is shown here on the plan, and it's 1,536 total feet of roadway, including the end of the cul-de-sac. As I mentioned, site access is going to connect right to the end of Ricketts Pond Drive in Carver, and we have a short stretch of road segment about 200 feet in the town of Carver before we reach the development and our proposed lots. You can see the isolated vegetated wetland here, and we tried to keep our disturbance away from there as much as possible. The rear decks on that one unit are about 50 feet away from the IVW, and that's our closest disturbed area with a portion of building. The next sheet I'm going to speak to is the grading and drainage plan, that's sheet 7. So this sheet shows the grading and drainage design for the subdivision. Our goal was to design a drainage system that complied with the 2, 10, 25, and 100-year storm events. We want to attenuate those storms, and we want to comply with all of the local and state stormwater management regulations. So that was our goal for design. In both the pre and post development, we analyzed a watershed of about 23.5 acres to design the storm system. There's several design points. The wetlands, each wetland is a design point. Several of the property lines are design points. And we reduce the peak rates and volumes directed at all of those design points with this design. So how we get there is a closed drainage system in the street that consists of a series of catch basins and drain manholes. We funnel the stormwater towards these catch basins. We spaced strategically. From here, we pipe the runoff into the infiltration basin. But first it hits the sediment forebay, which is that small portion in the corner of the infiltration basin. That gets us our total suspended solids removal, and it helps kind of treat the stormwater before it gets infiltrated into the native soils. So we're complying with all of the stormwater management regulations. We achieve the water quality, the recharge, the TSS removal with this design. So that's a little bit about that. The next sheet will be the utility plan. So that's sheet 8. So this is the utility plan that shows wells, it shows septic systems, underground electric for each lot. I preliminarily sized these septic systems based on the soils we were seeing out there, just to make sure we could fit all of the septics and had the required buffer zones to the proposed wells. We'll obviously work in conjunction with the Plympton Board of Health as we get further along in development to finalize these designs, but we wanted to make sure everything fit.
That's a good question there. So each unit, each two-family unit has its own septic and its own well?
There's one well and one septic on each lot. On lots where there's 2 duplexes on the lot, it's a shared septic system and a shared well. And you can see an example of that is on lot 15, kind of right above the cursor there.
Now, the leaching field is that per lot, or do they all have or they have it in common, or how does that work?
It goes into a shared septic tank and then into the fields. The fields were calculated based on the number of bedrooms on the lot. So for lots with 2 duplexes, we took that into account in the sizing. So those, you'll see the septic system is a little bit larger on lot 17 compared to lot 18, just because there's two buildings going into it.
Okay, but what I want to make sure I get clear is that, for the single duplex lots, right, their lot lines, that's their leaching field, right? Or am I not correct?
I think one leaching field per duplex.
Okay, that's what I think that's what I was trying to get at. Thank you.
So
And
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just to clarify, even on the 15,000 square foot lot that you referenced with a two-family unit on it, that 15,000 square foot lot would contain a septic system and two wells or one well?
Just one well.
Okay.
One well, and I believe it's, as of currently, we're showing one service. That could be subject to change, but this is where we were for our first submission.
Could I ask a question?
The septic is based on the number of bedrooms. Okay. And that's standard what the law is right now in the state or in Plympton or?
That's Title V regulations.
Title V
So
regulations, okay.
It's 110 gallons per day per bedroom, and we use that to size the system.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Can the town ask questions, or do you want to
Yeah,
wait till the end?
Through the chair, yes.
Oh, yeah, my name's Dr. Bonkros, Lake Street. One of the lots here with two duplex houses on it, it appears to be one septic tank for 4 families. Is that accurate?
I would like to finish the presentation before we take questions, please.
All right, then.
That's fine. We have to wait till the end.
The final sheet I'll speak to is the roadway profile. This is sheet 9. So this shows our proposed roadway profile and the drainage structures in the roadway. As you can see, there's no conflicting utilities here. We show the centerline grades. The grades of the roadway range from 1.1 to 1.7%, and there's a high point at the Carver Town line to divide up the stormwater between the Carver and the Plympton portions of the site. And as I mentioned, we have no utility conflicts to worry about here, so it was pretty simple design. So,
Are you saying that the area where the town line meets, that's the higher elevation, and it sort of slopes downward?
yeah, we chose that as a high point to completely divide so we're not taking runoff from Carver and putting it onto Plympton and vice versa. Thank you.
Okay, all right, so let me just get back to Mr. Bloomquist's question. On the two, I think it was, on the lots with two buildings, two residences, right? Is there one septic and is there one well and one septic, or one for each building?
There's one septic and one well per lot.
Okay.
And that
so-
doesn't matter how many buildings are on it.
Okay.
And like I said, as we further develop the plans, we'll work with the Board of Health, refine the design. We'll take another look at the septic system designs for the individual lots after we do the soil testing and submit that.
Okay, and because that 1+1 is servicing, more bedrooms, or those would have to be larger than the other ones that are just serving the single lots?
Yes, and they are. They're sized that way currently.
Did that answer your question?
Just to reiterate, is one septic tank for 4 families at some of those situations?
We currently have shared septic tanks, yes. But like I mentioned, we're going to revisit the design when we submit to the Board of Health. These are preliminary in nature for a utility plan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Okay.
If I may, with respect to the wells, the well water, it looks as if, say up on the top right-hand corner of the screen, there's the 2 duplexes, 4 units, and 1 well. So that single well will serve 4 families, if you will, up here.
Now, when that happens, do you have to dig a well?
Well, is that
deeper?
true? I haven't got an answer from the engineer yet.
Depending on well testing, if it's possible, we would like to do that, as shown in the plan. If we have to change up the design because the utility plan is preliminary in nature, we'll deal with that if we have to.
That's why he said they'd work with the Board of Health to
Right,
figure
they'd
it out.
have to,
so.
yeah. It's just curious, that's all. Thank you.
Now, if you do have to do that, is that a question where you dig deeper, or do you make the well wider, or how does that work?
We usually consult out the well work to an independent consultant, so they'll figure out all the testing and how far to dig.
Okay. See, I do have one question. These stormwater management areas that you put on, I think it's Plan 6 perhaps shows them best. Are they in the wetlands themselves? Are they considered adjacent to the wetlands? Because they're kind of like on the edges of these markers.
I was wondering
Yeah,
about that.
that's a great question. So that's shown on sheet 7.
Oh, 7, sorry.
I can explain it a little bit.
It's funny, I was wondering.
So the stormwater area you're talking about, yeah, that's a great example there. That shows the contour lines. It's a basin, an infiltration basin, so it's really a depression in the ground. We take a portion of the cul-de-sac, we capture the runoff, and we send it to that basin. Luckily here we have sand, so we can infiltrate all of the runoff going there. And then we include a small emergency overflow, and we just direct that at the wetland. But you can see the 100-year storm I label on the plan never even makes it up to that emergency overflow. So it's next to the wetland. I believe we're over 50 feet away with that one. I want to say eyeballing it about 60 feet from the corner of the basin. So it's next to it. These basins have to be tucked into a low point when you think about it, because you're directing stormwater downhill. You want to get everything from the cul-de-sac moving downhill to a low point where you can service the whole development.
Because it seems like the general way what you want the water to flow is to sort of down and away. I'm not sure if sort of to the south, to the southeast
Southeast,
of where the houses are. Is that the general idea, is to direct that away from the homes and toward the either these wetlands or these vegetated lands or whatever's not being used?
Yeah, so we included in our drainage report, we do a pre-development watershed study. So we look at the flow patterns of the current lot, and we break it up into how much runoff is going to each property line, how much is going to the wetlands, and we put a number to that. So our goal is to be less with our peak rates and volumes in those 2 through 100-year storm events I mentioned. So to do that, it's not as easy as putting the runoff towards one point, because you're going to blow up that design point. You're going to be above it in the post-development condition. So we have to strategically place these infiltration basins and capture the runoff that way to make sure that we're compliant with those local and state regulations.
Now, and I'm sorry if I might be asking basic questions here, but the little lines that you draw around the catch basins, these little parallel lines that kind of, what is that? Does that represent a material, or does that represent, what do those represent?
So if you look kind of close to that, and they're actually 1-foot grade contours, and it might be tough to see if you have an 11 by 17 plan.
Oh, I forgot, I have the bigger plans over there if anyone wants them.
Yeah, so they're increments of 1 foot vertically. It's like the same as looking at a topo map, topography
Okay.
map.
So, what do these lines represent physical structures, or just topographical changes in? Okay.
Exactly, yep.
Right.
Just 1 foot differences in grade, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
these are 1 foot, and I think in this lower basin, I have the bottom at 131.5. So in that point, I put a dash line just to represent the half, so it's not overlooked when it's being constructed.
And I'm sure it's somewhere in the plan, but how deep are these basins that you show here in terms of depth?
So the bottom one here on the page, the top of the berm is 135, the bottom of the basin is 131 and a half, so it's 3.5 feet deep.
Okay.
The other basin, the top of it is 130, the bottom is 125, so it's 5 feet deep. And the state law requires us to maintain a foot of freeboard, so that flood elevation needs to be 1 foot different from the top of the berm. We can't flood right up to the berm, we have to flood a foot below it, just as an emergency precaution.
Madam Chair, question on the, are there any below-grade retention where it would go, tanks, let's say, below grade for runoff?
Yeah, that's not proposed for this development.
Not on this development.
Can I ask a question? So you've done plans like this before for multiple units, common for you. Have you seen projects like this so close to wetlands developed successfully and?
Yes, I have, yeah, and I've seen it in worse soil conditions than this, which is, makes our job a lot harder as designers. It means the basin needs to be bigger, it means the septic needs to be bigger. This was a best-case scenario for us. We hit sand, I mean, it was all we saw, the entire test holes we were doing, and like I said, we used some pretty serious machinery out there. We got over 10 feet deep. It was sand the whole way down, so that gives us the best infiltration rate, and it really makes the design easier for us.
Okay, all right, thank you.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. From what I've seen of the lot, it is, sandy
sand.
and rocky. And okay, so, oh, yeah?
Sir, Mr. Chairman, the residents of this complex will all have HOAs, is that true?
I believe so. I don't think that's the proper question to ask this gentleman. But yes, that has been discussed in the past, and we'll probably discuss that in the future. And I think the original proposal was, as I recall, was that each duplex would have its own HOA. But, I don't think we're quite ready to have a discussion
I
about
can
it.
answer that question.
All right, if you wish to.
Brad McKenzie, McKenzie Engineering, excuse me. Each lot will be its own condo association. And overarching all of that would be a homeowners association. Because it's really it's no different than a single family, it's a subdivision with a road, a right of way. So again, each lot, whether it be 1 or 2 duplexes, would be its own condo association. And they might be, as the plans are further developed into final construction plans, the legal documents are prepared, there probably will be exclusive use areas, common areas designated on plans to be recorded at the Registry of Deeds, along with unit deed plans and master deed plans.
And that does make more sense, because I was wondering, if you had 30 condo associations, how would the common elements like the road and other things be taken care of? Because obviously not everyone might be quite as attuned to that sort of thing. But the HOA, that is an interesting idea that may take care of the issue. But again, that's something I think we'll be talking about more in some upcoming meetings about the structure and who's responsible for what and how it's delegated and so on and so forth. So, all right. So, does anyone else have a question about this presentation before we do something else? Yes?
I apologize for asking so many questions. All of the wells will have a 100% separation from the soil erosion systems?
Yeah, we currently show
I'm sorry,
You-
could you repeat your question?
You got to address the questions to
No,
the.
I didn't quite hear the question. I want to
Yeah.
make sure I hear the question so I can understand the answer.
The question is, will each well be at least 100 feet from any septic system?
Okay, all right, okay, please.
Yes, yes, and we currently show that.
Okay, now I think at this point we've heard the presentation from Mr. Shoemaker, and now is there any other? Now, does the applicant wish to make any other presentations at this time? Okay, all right, so we've heard the general plan and a description of the stormwater system. Now, Mr. Driscoll, do you have any comments you'd like to make, based either on the written materials that have been submitted or upon the proposal that you've witnessed here tonight?
No, not any further than the review letter that we prepared and submitted to the board and the applicant and their engineer.
Okay, all right, so.
I think it's pretty technical in nature, so.
Yes. I mean,
I'm sure they'll go through it all. And
yes, I mean, because as I read your proposal, and it's, and I think it's best read if you actually have a copy of their application, next to you to actually see, if you're referring to Plan 1 or Plan 2, and you say, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be accounted for, what has to go on. Now, obviously, you also have other issues, about, for example, their waiver list, but that's not, I think, a conversation we need to have tonight. So, we will have that conversation, but first, we want to, since we're talking about stormwater, and obviously that's a very important component of the project, given the lot's nature, and obviously, the potential for catastrophic issues if there's a flood, if it's not done right, that's something that has to be addressed. So anyway, so now we've heard about the stormwater and the general site plan. Now, so I guess my fellow members, what do you think our next step should be?
Could ask.
I think that the other aspect of this, I know we've had the peer review for their basic proposal in stormwater, and we also have the traffic study, and we need to get our peer review person on up to speed. Since Lucas isn't here, I will take it upon myself to go and contact them tomorrow and see what they need. I think all they need is just their check before they get started. So I'd like to hear from them the next meeting. So they'll take a few weeks to do whatever they need to do, I think, and then we can listen to them. So does anyone think that's not a good idea, or we wouldn't be available for that sort of thing in the next couple of weeks, by the next hearing?
I think the peer review is probably going to need more than a couple of weeks.
All right.
That's my guess.
We asked for if there are any additional comments from the public.
Questions?
Yes, we got that one. All right, so yeah, we'll do that in a moment. What do you think, Mr. McKenzie, would be a good time frame to hear the issue about traffic study?
Well, we'd like an opportunity for our expert to review the peer review letter from your expert and, maybe formulate a response so that the next time we meet, it can be more productive. We can hear, our traffic consultant can present the results of his study, and you can hear your own peer reviewer, and then there can be some dialogue.
All right.
Productive.
I think that's reasonable. Now, could you remind me, please, where do I find your initials? What do we have from you regarding traffic study so far? I'm not sure.
Did Mr. Cusson submit electronically the traffic impact and access study? Because earlier this week, he asked us for comments, we provided comments. I'm just not sure that,
I
wasn't copied on a submission.
I didn't see anything. I mean, it's not impossible that maybe only Mr. Kowalski received it, and he hadn't forwarded because he's not in the country at the moment. He will return. But I have not seen anything like that, so that's why I'm asking, has there been something that we may not have gotten yet?
Because you should send it to all of us.
Yeah, we all have to take a look at it. And so we can, and then forward it to our peer review. But I don't think we have had it yet.
I haven't
So
seen it.
maybe that would be something that could be taken care of in the next day or two, is to see if whether
I
report is.
think it's done.
Okay.
Just minor, not submitted, minor modifications.
All right, so,
So-
all right, so I think what, all right, so I think what the plan should be is, we'll wait for you to get it to us, then, then I'll forward over to the peer reviewer and make sure he gets his check so we can start the process, and then, and by the time of our next meeting, the two should have an opportunity to do their thing and talk to us about it. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, good. All right, so we will schedule a next meeting, obviously. Let's see. And are we thinking like last week in September or first week in October? Rob?
That works, it sounds, 4 weeks.
All right, okay.
I think Lucas will be back.
Yes, I think we'll be back. We will get to the other thing in a moment.
Would that include response to first letter on the plan set as well? Or-
Yes, I think we'd like to hear both sides if there is.
We'll have a response by then.
Okay. Okay, so the idea is that you submit your study, they make their comments, and then you make the response to their comments, right?
Talking about traffic, or you're talking about Mr. Driscoll's review?
Actually, I'm not sure. Were you talking about your review? Okay, yes. All right, so, yeah, they're two separate things, so let's take them one at a time, all right? So let's take Mr. Driscoll's first, all right? So your response to his comments, would it be a problem for you to have that by the next meeting?
Not at all, we're thinking a few weeks.
Okay, all right, that'll be fine. All right, so then we can talk about those things at the next meeting, and at the same time, we can also talk about the traffic study, since I think you probably have enough time to get the report finalized and have our other peer reviewer take a look, make his comments, and then perhaps there'll be time for you to either address those comments then and there or at the hearing. So we can do two things at the next hearing, which I think will be efficient and actually progress along with this process. Does that sound like a plan? Mm-hmm. All right.
Would you want my responses to their comments?
Potentially.
Or we can just discuss their responses and then go from there? What do you think, Brad?
Well, I'm not sure how much time you'll need to respond to our.
Probably a couple weeks.
Well, it'll be close, so maybe 5 weeks is better.
Okay.
I'm not sure what
I
your
don't know
meeting
if I'll
schedule is.
discuss any of my responses being due a week before the meetings, so you guys have a chance to look.
So maybe first week in October, and then maybe we can do another
Might
one
be.
at the end of October.
Maybe
the next one can be closer.
But that brings me to my next point, is that I've been thinking about this, is that the applicant filed their application on April 28th, and we're supposed to have this thing done within 6 months or an extension. I honestly, don't see it being done by the end of October.
If I may, Mr. Chair, you have 6 months from when you opened the public hearing.
Okay.
Not from when the application was filed. So currently, you have until November 24th.
Okay, all right, so we don't need to talk about that extension this time.
Okay, good.
All right, but anyway, that's good to know, is that we have to either have a decision or have an extension by that time. All right, everyone knows that? Okay, all right, so let's schedule this next hearing.
Because that's why I thought maybe we could do 2 in October.
Yeah, we very well
need to.
could. But I think we can probably get both the traffic study and the stormwater discussion at the next hearing. Let's see.
Want to look at the 8th
That should be fine.
or the 1st?
I think someone said something about 5 week. Let's see, does it?
Let's see, where are we now?
I mean,
That'd be 5 weeks.
Yeah, that'd be 5 weeks. Which one is 5 weeks? The
First, I think.
The 1st? You want to try the 1st? What do you think?
yeah, I mean, I
Madam
don't.
Chair, I'm not available the evening of the 1st. I
Okay,
have a
then we don't want to do
conflict.
that. What about the 2nd? Or the 31st? The 30th, September 30 days, or?
I'm not a big fan of the last day of the month.
Okay, yeah, too much.
I gotta build it.
Yeah, I got you. So maybe we could do the 2nd or the 8th? What's better for you? I know we need you
I
here.
can
so
I can do the 8th.
All right.
That'd be 6 weeks. That gives you a little more time.
Sure.
All right, so, Okay, so I move that the next hearing be scheduled for October 8th at 6:30 PM in the same place.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And also, if we could communicate directly between Mackenzie and JD, as far as any comments or questions I may have throughout the process, we can include the board in our communication as well. It kind of makes things easier.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
That would be great.
I don't think you need formal approval by motion to do that. I mean, you know, how you do your job is as long as it gets done.
Yeah. As long as everyone's aware and you're good.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so I'm not sure if there's anything else we can really accomplish here tonight.
Do you want to open up for questions?
Yes, I think that would be a good idea. Before we, if any member of the public has questions, you know, you can ask through the chair, and perhaps they may be answered. Yes?
Mr. Chair, is it possible to get a copy of the report from Mr. Driscoll?
Yes, of course. Yes, it's here. You know, if anyone who wants it, you know, yeah, but I'll make sure to have it posted on the town's website, so anyone could, you know, see any document that's been submitted here. So let me just get a note. Okay.
One of these hard copies here all the time, if somebody wanted to come in and look at them, or?
Yes, I mean, yes.
Because there are hard copies too, if anybody from the community wants to
Yes,
look
I
at
mean,
them.
I'll put this copy in the box with the rest of it, so that anyone who wants to come in and can see it. Because I'm not sure if Kathy, I think Kathy got it, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. 6:30, next. Hold on, please, I just want to write down what the next meeting's going to be about. Okay.
So it's a review of the JD response and the traffic report, correct?
Yes.
And our review, hopefully, from the specialist. Just confirming.
Also, all right, does anyone else have any questions that we can try to answer at this time? Yes, ma'am.
I'm just catching up with what's happening. Just for clarification, these are two-bedroom units, is that correct?
Yes, I believe so.
There's a mix of, we're required under 40B to have some threes as well.
Oh, yes, I do
10%.
remember that.
Minimum of 10% have to be threes.
So some three-bedroom units,
So,
at least 10%.
Oh, by the way, could you give us your name, please?
yeah, Debbie Batson, Forest Street.
Thank you.
My follow-up question then is, so the septic design for each of the duplexes that are sharing a septic is based on the number of bedrooms? And just to clarify, because I am not sure, what does that mean in terms of occupation? You're assuming there's like up to 2 people per bedroom, or how does that figure?
I think they go bedroom by, I think the presenter said, essentially it's, one bedroom is like 110 gallons worth of water usage a day. So I mean, that's how they measure it. They don't measure it by people. I wondered that myself.
I know there's a standard they use.
But that's the standard. I think that generally tends to assume, you know, 2 people a bedroom, roughly. Well, all right.
Yeah, it's based on anticipated wastewater demand per bedroom.
2 people aren't going to use 110 gallons. Those are based on, those numbers are old Title V numbers, but it's still Title V.
Okay.
Well, in a previous presentation, you guys told us that you expected, based on past experience, 2.5 residents per unit on average.
I wasn't part of that
I don't
discussion.
remember, Paul Cousins might have mentioned that, but I don't recall.
Well, at the time, I'd said, so if we do the math, that's 150 to 200 new people in Plympton. Is that about right?
Sounds about right.
I think this project could comfortably fit that number of new people in Plympton. And obviously there are limits to what we can consider. You know, I think our council would advise us that capacity is something that cannot consider in the terms of additional impact on municipal resources, like police, fire, that sort of thing, and
Correct.
schools.
The schools, correct.
Can't be considered.
It cannot be considered as part of a 40B, no.
All right, does anyone else have any questions that we can try to answer?
Mr. Chair, I have one question, if I could ask for a clarification. I think, Mr. Shoemaker, when you were talking about the length of the roadway and the cul-de-sac, I think I heard you say it should be sufficient for an emergency vehicle to turn around. Have we got confirmation from the fire department that their largest piece of apparatus can in fact turn around down there? Or have you done a sweat path analysis?
Yeah, it's based on the subdivision regulations for Plympton, so we took this right out of your design plates. I haven't received anything formally in writing from the fire department.
Okay.
We can show that if we need to. We have software that mimics the turning radius of a fire truck, and we'll put it right on the plan and show it.
I know that
Requested.
typically I see sweat path analysis plans submitted, so if the board would like to
I'm sorry, what
request
was the name
that.
of the analysis?
It's called a swept path
Swept path.
analysis.
We'll provide that as part of our plan set with addressing Mr. Driscoll's comments.
Now, the cul-de-sac, now that's just an area of paved road in a circular shape, right?
Yes.
You're not planning on putting like a, I've seen some that have like the little, like a little bit of, it's like.
Landscape island.
So what you've shown there, that's just going to be just a pure gravel circle? Okay,
Well, pavement, yeah.
pavement, sorry. Because I think I saw one, I think we do have like one of those, I think it was Pope's Farm Road that actually is kind of, it is a cul-de-sac, but there is like a circle of greenery in the middle, and I guess that the fire approved that one.
Yeah, because they can go around it,
Yeah, they must be able to.
Must be big enough.
And I'm sorry, what is the, I'm sure it's here somewhere, but, if you could humor me, what are we looking at in terms of that radius of that circle bit? At least I can't quite read what it says on the map.
Hold on a second. The pavement is 120-foot diameter, so the
Okay.
radius will be 60 feet.
Okay,
To
good.
put that in perspective, a two-lane road is typically 24 feet wide, so a little over 3 times that would be the radius.
Okay.
Wait a second, you said diameter is 120 feet and radius is 60 feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Looks like 140 on this plan.
That's the right-of-way.
That's the right of way.
Now, the roadway that goes,
Another question?
I'm sorry, yes.
John Trainer, Crescent Street. Has there been any discussion if there was a fire down there, what would augment the water supply beyond the tanker?
I don't think there has been.
We've had discussions with the water department, the fire department, about putting in some underground systems that the fire department could pump out of.
So those are on the plan.
I don't think. we
They're not
have one
shown in the
that's
plan currently, but we expect that the fire department, I don't know if they've issued a review letter yet, we haven't seen one, but I assume all the town departments have these plans and you're seeking input from them, so it's something that certainly we can discuss in further detail with the fire department. Locations and sizes, like that.
Now, along those same lines, did you say that there was going to be like drainage basins along the road to catch the stormwater? I may not have heard that right, but in terms of having like some kind of outlet from the road to wherever it's going.
It's just a typical catch basin you would see on the side of the road.
All right. So essentially something like a grate or like a raised area with like a little hole there where the water goes in or something along those lines?
Exactly,
Okay.
catch basin grade.
Now, one other thing is, now as you've indicated that the road with the right-of-way is 26 feet wide, right? as I think you said, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but is that going to be sufficient, for example, if you have two emergency vehicles, one coming from this way and one coming from that way? Will there be enough room for them to pass each other?
Yes, I think it'll be more than enough, and I believe that's what's required in your bylaw for two-way traffic.
Okay.
That,
It's
excuse
also
me,
shown in your subdivision regulations.
Probably wider than most Plympton roads.
Okay.
it may, if I may, it may want to be reviewed in person or by document with each of the departments, police and fire, for apparatus clearance, for emergency access, life and death situations, because a lot can happen in a fire, not just with a fire truck, but,
Police, ambulance.
ambulance, all that.
I mean, obvious,
So that we don't assume that it's okay by some bylaw that's out of date,
Yes. Now, on that point, obviously, all, the requirements when the 40B plan was submitted, that the board, submit, copies of their application to all the various boards and committees, and that would have a stake in this. We have a list of them on the application form, and I've done that. I don't recall any feedback received from any of them. I mean, I don't know if anybody else has received it, but I've not heard anything from them, at least directly to me or to the board. I mean, they may have reached out to the applicant directly.
Well, the fire department went on the walkthrough.
Okay. Wasn't that like sometime, like October of last year? Okay.
I don't think it's that far back. But the fire
There are
department was there.
some comment letters that are on the website.
Oh, yes, those were back when they did their initial proposal back, I think.
You're talking about with the current plan set?
Yes, I mean, because there was the comments section, I think it was when this proposal was still before the, what's that?
For the state, for
The
looking
state.
for its
Mass housing.
public
The mass
eligibility
housing.
letter.
Yeah, they gave the eligibility letter. There were comments submitted there, but I don't recall anything
Yeah,
more
those are
recent.
the all dated October. Okay.
That's on the page, right? It's on the,
Yeah, so it's also in our packet, it's in our packet here.
Okay.
I forget exactly where it is, but,
that's okay.
but anyway, but I haven't received anything from any board or committee since the application has been submitted to us, actually the town. So, yes, Dave, so if we were interested in getting the feedback from other boards, committees, we might need to reach out to them and say, hey, we're going to be talking about this, we like your views on the subject.
Okay.
All right. Oh, actually, there's one other thing that, Suzanne, I believe you suggested something about a site visit.
Yeah.
And I think, that's something that we should want to talk about before we adjourn here tonight. Let's see.
I'd like to do it when Lucas is back, though,
Okay.
too, so,
All right, so.
just so we can set up a time. We'd like to take a walk through the site, so I think it'd be good for us to do that. but-
Okay, so, all right, so I think at the next meeting, we'll talk about, we'll
Could we
schedule
do
a site,
October?
site visit, if that's okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
And if multiple members of the board are going to be there, we'd ask you to advertise as a public hearing. Public meeting.
So so you have two ways that you can do this as a site visit. One is, yes, it can be done as part of a public meeting, but you need to bear in mind that if you have it posted as a public meeting, then it is open to the general public, which means anybody in this room who wants to come and walk the site can. Now, sand and gravel, I don't know what the exact situation
I don't want the
is
public
of the
in there.
location, but it may not be conducive to just opening it up to the public.
Liability just is.
Exactly. The other option is that the board can still have a site visit, and it can be all board members who go, but you don't have to post it as a public meeting, but you cannot deliberate at all during that site visit. So if you want to go, you want to see the site, you want to get a sense of where the access way is, or how long or where the roadway may end, and, a sense of how close things are to property lines, et cetera, you can certainly go and do that without being a posted meeting, but you do not start to get into your opinions or thoughts or questions regarding the any of the design.
All right, so essentially, we should go there and observe, essentially behave like sponges and save the questions.
Take it all in, exactly.
Okay.
Get your bearings and take it all in.
And I would just request that would take place on a weekend, like a Saturday.
Sure.
you know, just because it's not usually in operation on Saturday.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
All right, well, yes, ma'am.
Hi, Tina Davies, Spring Street. I'm new to this. I just have a question. A subdivision like this, are they supposed to have the legal lot size for the town of Plympton, or doesn't it apply to them?
It does in the sense because they're applying under 40B, that does mean that they do not have to have the standard lot size for Plympton, which I believe is
60,000.
60,000 square feet. No, because they are applying under this special law called 40B, that they can use smaller lot size so long as they meet the other requirements of the plan, which is what we'll be talking about the next couple of weeks, next months.
Structures have to be in a subdivision like this, 25 feet from the lot line?
No, they can request waivers, for things like, the lot lines and setbacks, so long as it does meet, a minimum level of health and safety, they can request and receive waivers, so they get their project to work. So that's, 40B works. Yes, ma'am.
Mary McGrath, Solar Circle Carver. Is there any provision for additional parking other than the driveways? What if someone has a party?
That's a good question.
Are they going to be able to park along the street?
Well, it's really no different a condition that exists anywhere in the town of Plympton, really. What if anybody has a party? And as Mr. Ropaczynski said, this street's probably wider than most streets and most side streets in town, secondary streets in town. And these driveways can accommodate, so these two-car garages?
Yeah, they're one-car garages per duplex, so when you're looking at it, you're going to have a duplex with two garages and 24-foot wide driveway, about 40 feet from the street. You're going to be able to stack up a few cars in the driveway.
Yeah, so at least they have one car in the driveway and two cars, depending on, one car in the garage and maybe two cars in the actual driveway on your side.
Yeah, behind it.
Okay. So, I mean, and in terms of parking off-street, I would think that would be something that would generally be handled by the HOA.
Right. Yeah, the overarching HOA that may be developed here could come up with some different ideas for where parking could be allowed, overflow parking.
And, in terms of the HOA, I'm not sure what say the board might have, if any realistic say, except for extreme cases, as to how this community wishes to organize itself, except for whatever might be just truly onerous, or may impact the quality of life or the ability for this project to thrive. I think we're kind of limited in what we could suggest, impose in that regard.
Typically, the board has no role in the formation of the homeowners association or the structure of it or the rules. The only thing we have to look at is we'll ask to see all of those documents when they're eventually drafted to make sure it's consistent with the comprehensive permit decision. So let's take, for example, if we want to ensure that whatever this roadway is ultimately called remains a private roadway, and that the homeowners association is entirely responsible for maintenance, infrastructure, paving, snow plowing, et cetera.
That's interesting, because we can grant a comprehensive permit and still require them to keep that a private way. We don't have to accept that as a public way by the town, do we?
You could put that in as one of your conditions of your comprehensive permit. You don't have to.
Okay.
But if you did, for example, then you'd want to make sure that the homeowners association documents have provisions in there for making sure that the eventual owners that occupy these duplexes recognize that that's going to be part of their condo association fee and their ongoing obligations.
All right.
That's good.
All right, does anyone, yes, Mr. Wu?
Yes, sir. If I could add one more comment to the lady from Carver. If my wife and I were to buy one of these units, and my wife's car is parked in the garage and I'm parked behind her, If she wants to go to the store, I've got to move my car, I'll probably leave it in the street, okay? And then I'm thinking about if most people do that, then police and fire coming down the street's 24 feet wide, if a car on both sides opposite each other, that leaves a pretty narrow spot in the middle for emergency vehicles.
If I could
That's an
respond to
observation.
that.
Say that, go
If I
ahead.
could respond to that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
This, again, this is a preliminary plan. It shows the basic outline of a driveway, but most likely, these driveways are gonna have, turnarounds. So that somebody backing out of their garage can, back up, take a turn, three-point turn, and leave facing forward, not back into the street. So there will be an opportunity, if your wife's in the garage and she wants to go out to the, for you to move your car to the.
So you could park your car
turnaround.
further enough down the driveway
That
so
you
that you
could
can
get out.
get out and around.
That's kind of how I envisioned it, wide enough that you wouldn't have to move a car to get one out.
All right, well, I think that we've probably discussed all that we can discuss at this point. So if there are no further questions or comments, then I think I would entertain a motion to adjourn and continue the hearing until the next date.
I second.
So moved.
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.